Hey everybody, you are tuning in to the Canary Cry News Talk live stream pre-stream. Congratulations for being here, and congratulations to Puppy McPuppyface for first comment of the day. You did it. Congratulations. I hope you're happy. Because I sure am. We did it, folks. We're here. We're back. We meant to get on a lot earlier, but you know how that goes. That's literally every day of our lives. So we are so happy that you're here. And yes, it is our 10th year of podcasting as of today. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that so exciting? Well, and for our 10-year anniversary show, we have a very special thing for you today, which is we're just going to do a regular show. This is going to be a normal show that you love. But don't worry, it'll be a good one. Other than that, make sure to head on over to CanaryCry.Party, which is back up and running. You can follow us in other locations. As usual, YouTube will just get half of the show, not because we don't like you. It's because of Susan. Susan doesn't want you listening to the whole show. So make sure to find another platform to catch the rest of the show on. We have some fun gifts for you today, dear listeners. So we hope you like it. We wish we could have done more. It's just, it's just a token of our gratitude. And other than that, I think we're going to get going. I'm going to give Gonz a chance to secretly tell me if there's anything else I need to say. And I'm not doing anything. It sounds like I'm good. Sounds like we did it. All right, folks, well, strap on in. Stay hydrated. Let's get going.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is March 16th, 2022, and we are live to tape. This episode number 459. Today, the Decacorn. Razzle, dazzle, dazzle, dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And my name is Gonz. Welcome to the podcast where, I'm your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. Welcome to the podcast where we bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events.
Oh, Gonz's brain is gunked up with something. Definitely
brain somewhere else. Our little scroll text was not updated, that needs to happen as I try to get into the show here.
Yeah, because we're a real professional outfit here. We have scrolling chyrons keeping you updated on the news of the day. And the big news today, Gonz, is that it is our 10-year anniversary of podcasting, but that's not what this is about. We'll talk more about that later. I think we should just jump right into our lead stories. What do you say?
Fight for Ukraine, new world order.
Well, President Zelensky of Ukraine made an urgent appeal to Congress for more supplies to fight Russia, and in the process, appealed to some historic moments in U.S. history.
Ah, yes.
We need you right now. Remember Pearl Harbor. Terrible morning of December 7, 1941, when your sky was black from the planes attacking you. Just remember it.
Ooh.
Remember September the 11th, a terrible day in 2001 when evil tried to turn your cities, independent territories, in battlefields, when innocent people were attacked from air. Yes, just like no one else expected it. You could not stop it. Our country experience the same every day, right now, at this moment, every night, for 3 weeks now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're having a Pearl Harbor 9/11 every single day for weeks in Ukraine, and of course,
not the greatest translation.
Translator
there.
really missed.
Translator was a little rough.
Yeah, some of the headlines were talking about how he delivered an emotional plea, during the appeal to Congress, but not really translating, unless you want to say that the translator was emotional herself. That's why she was kind of flubbing her words.
Not really. Yeah, you'd think that the translators need to be, somewhat talented orators as well. Yeah. Not that I'm sure she's fine. This is a stressful time for everybody. So I'm not blaming her, but
sure.
Yes, it does lose a little bit of its, if you're going to be bringing up 9/11 and Pearl Harbor and things like that, you kind of need the orative oomph that those allusions kind of require. But okay.
Yeah. Well, the plea worked because it was announced this morning that Biden sends more aid after Zelensky invokes 9/11 Pearl Harbor an emotional address to Congress. More specifically, the USA Today being mirrored on Yahoo News, Biden announces $800 million more in military aid to fend off Russia's assault. So $800 million.
Almost $1 billion. Not the most we've ever sent them, but
How much do we send Israel a year? I think it's upwards of somewhere between 5 and 10 billion a year.
It's a lot of bills. A lot of bills. But we've been sending stuff to Ukraine for years now. I mean, ever since what was it? What was the last thing? 2014.
2014-ish was the last time things got. Over there.
Good timing, though. The amount doesn't matter. It's the thought that counts,
sure.
Mr. Biden.
Yep. It says here, President Joe Biden announced Wednesday that an additional $800 million in military aid will be sent to Ukraine just hours after President Volodymyr Zelensky's address to Congress, a speech he called convincing. I like how Biden
called it. Biden called it.
Yeah,
convincing?
Biden called it. So I like how Zelensky is like Pearl Harbor, 9/11, and Biden is immediately like convinced.
I'm convinced.
Sign the check, $800 million. That's all we had to do, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's again, sending money over there is not anything new. Sending them that much money is not really anything new. What's been surprising is that somehow we've been able to claim that we're like sort of staying out of combat while we're just flooding the zone with weapons of all kinds. Defensive weapons, though, Gonz, not offensive. These are strictly defensive missiles.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get this texting to work. Every time I apply the loop, it just disappears on the screen. So I don't know what's happening.
It's okay. Just forget it for now. We'll fix it. All
right. Yeah. So there you go with some of the latest. There's always updates of stuff getting bombed and whatnot.
Sure. Well, there was this headline that came across. This was from MSN, being mirrored from Forbes, and the headline is Zelensky says Russia-Ukraine peace talks sounding more realistic. Here's where negotiations stand and what to watch for. And we won't go through the whole thing, but they have some key facts and crucial quotes. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Wednesday, negotiations with Ukraine are tough, but, quote, specific wordings of a peace agreement were, quote, close to being agreed, including neutrality for Kyiv and security guarantees for Moscow, according to the Financial Times. Which, again, Financial Times is kind of one of those sketchy outlets that has some questionable, sources and means. But it doesn't matter. The comment marks the most optimistic statement on peace negotiations from a senior Russian official during the war and follows a concession from Zelensky on Tuesday, acknowledging that Ukraine must accept it will not become a member. Acknowledging that Ukraine must accept it will not become a member of NATO despite its aspirations. Zelensky said Ukraine will instead have to rely on security guarantees from foreign powers for its protection, hinting at a possible compromise over one of President Vladimir Putin's key goals. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, a NATO founder, reinforced the concession on Wednesday, saying there is, quote, no way Ukraine is going to join NATO anytime soon, and that Zelensky understood the, quote, reality of the position. NATO does not admit countries with unsettled territorial conflicts. However, and Johnson said, decisions about the future of Ukraine would be for the Ukrainian people and their elected leader, in quotation marks. Unfortunate use of quotation marks there. A crucial quote here, quote, all wars end in agreements, Zelensky said on Tuesday. Somehow that's incredibly deep and total hogwash, but it doesn't matter. Don't tell the mainstream I said that. Quote, however, time is still needed for the decisions. This is great. My browser has gone completely haywire. You got that? The rest of that crucial quote?
Yeah. However, time is still needed for the decisions to be in Ukraine's interests. Our heroes, our defenders, give us this time defending Ukraine everywhere. So, okay.
Yeah, the
it keeps
time.
Going.
It's all about the time. We're just going to drag it out and hopefully find peace. Now, just as a quick comment, you know, we've always discussed this event in Ukraine and Russia as a, if not sort of manufactured, which, hey, that's for the conspiracy theorists to figure out. It is at least extremely convenient to the world as a whole, but specifically the U.S., during a time where there was plenty of financial problems to be hidden, plenty of, reasons for inflation. You know, now they can blame it on Putin and not on over printing of money or et cetera, et cetera. It was a great excuse to back off of COVID. And, you know, if it does only take 3 weeks to find some sort of agreement, at least they got, at least the U.S. got what it wanted out of this.
Yeah, I suppose. We'll get to more of that later because there's a lot of New World Order talk in mainstream conversations about this issue with Ukraine and Russia.
It's just a common talking point now.
It's become
New
normal.
World Order.
Yeah. So a couple other things going on here. We had another death here of an affiliate media personnel. USA Today being mirrored on MSN. Fox News cameraman and consultant killed outside of Kiev after vehicle struck by incoming fire. Fox News cameraman Pierre Zakharzuski, another Z, and journalist Oleksandra Sasha Kuvshinova were killed while reporting with correspondent Benjamin Hall in Ukraine on Monday outside of Kyiv, according to statements from the media company. The media company.
Yeah, was that from Fox is what they're saying?
Probably.
Yeah.
So another individual who was, I guess, a consultant to Fox. And I find it interesting. The other journalist who died was more of a... He was kind of like a woke...
He was freelance. He was a freelance guy.
Both of these guys were sort of freelance in a sense. But the affiliation they make here in the West, at least in the U.S., is, Boston Globe writer. What was the main outlet that the guy wrote for? New
York Times.
New York Times. Okay, so New York Times guy. Now we get a Fox News guy. It's kind of like trying to bring...
Nobody is safe.
It's trying to rally the country in a sense, hey, we got both. This conflict is beyond the, Republican, partisan, Democrat.
Divide,
we got to come together in a time of war for Ukraine, A very interesting sort of psyop taking place, apart from the actual death of these individuals, which,
again, just very convenient for the people who it would be convenient for. But yeah, very sad. I have not seen a whole lot of reporting on this one, probably mainly because, I don't know, it's Fox. It's Fox,
yeah. You don't want too much sympathy in an election year. So the other thing that was going viral, being shared on the internet, was this Russian journalist protesting during a Russian TV broadcast. Have you seen this?
No.
So I don't know. I think this is a little edited version of it, but there's a news anchor and a lady the protester comes behind her during a live broadcast holding a sign Let's play a few seconds here. It's all in Russian, too.
Сотрудничество в рамках союзного государства, а на совещании в правительстве...
Yeah, there she's holding the sign back there. And then they cut to some B-roll of stuff.
Quick.
So, yeah, quick, cut to some B-roll.
Control room was on it.
So, part of what's interesting with this story is that allegedly the woman that did this came in, out of nowhere during a live broadcast to protest and say, they're lying to you or whatever. She was arrested right after this happened, and now the reports are that she is missing. So Yahoo News reports, who is Marina Ovsyannikova, the missing editor who protested live on Russian TV. So again, the reality of what happened doesn't even matter. Out here, they're arresting even the protesters, and in fact, they are going missing in Russia. They're barbaric, Putin, just jailing journalists who speak their mind. And
the fun part about this is not that it's shocking.
Right.
Is that it is expected. That it's more of like of course Putin disappeared her, even if whether or not she did officially get disappeared.
Right.
Just the fact that we can't find her. Boom. Yeah, of course Putin picked her up. Which of course he would. I mean, that's kind of his style. That's how he keeps his whole company going there.
Well, yeah. Some of his riches might be in trouble here as we hear more reports about all the sanctions and everything happening. The Telegraph reporting Vladimir Putin stashes millions of pounds of his personal wealth in London. And part of this report here is that a new kleptocracy unit could investigate assets the Russian president has in the UK.
Ooh.
So, government klepto.
Kleptocracy
investigation team.
Yeah, which is pretty ironic for the UK or the US also, any of the major world powers, but especially the sort of historically empirical ones who owe all of their riches to kleptocracy. But okay, yeah, sounds good.
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of the assets...
CSI, kleptocracy unit.
Kleptocracy unit. Well, if they have that in the U.S., it would be all the reparation type of conversations, right?
That would certainly be a big part of it. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of stuff happening in Ukraine, Russia. Obviously, it's center stage for the news cycle. But there's something that happened, reported last night, this morning, that I think is very fascinating.
Space Pope Reptilian.
Oh, the Pope's involved.
The Pope is getting involved. This is VaticanNews.va. And the headline here, Pope to consecrate Russia and Ukraine to Immaculate Heart of Mary. Yes. Let me read a little bit.
What does that mean? Do you know what that means?
Not as well as I should, because I am not a Catholic. But this article kind of explains some of it here.
Okay,
Pope Francis will consecrate Russia and Ukraine to the Immaculate Heart of Mary on Friday, 25th March, during the celebration of penance that he will preside over at 5 p.m. in St. Peter's Basilica. And then it talks about just another thing happening here. And importantly, on the same day, the ceremony will be performed in Fatima, Portugal, by Cardinal Konrad Krajewski, papal almoner, who is being sent there by the Pope. The day of the feast of the Annunciation of the Lord was chosen for the consecration. Martyrdom of the Good. In the apparition of 13 July 1917 in Fatima, Our Lady, capital O, capital L, Our Lady, had asked for the consecration of Russia to her Immaculate Heart, stating that if this request were not granted, Russia would spread, quote, its errors throughout the world, promoting wars and persecution of the church, end quote. And of course, 1917, the year, who was it? Stalin? I can't remember now. We just went over this. Lenin took over, and the communist sort of revolution started taking place in Russia. And then Quote, the good, she added, quote, will be martyred. The Holy Father will have much to suffer. Various nations will be destroyed. That is the alleged message from the apparition of Our Lady Mary that allegedly happened in Fatima, Portugal.
I wonder, should we give just a little review? I mean, we've done entire Canary Cry Radio episodes on the Fatima phenomenon.
Yeah.
Was it? With L.A. Marzulli, did a bunch of research on it, went down there, talked to people, tried to figure out what happened. But just as a quick review, I forget the date. What was it? It was like
it was
1912 or something like that.
So some of the documentation. So it was May. I think it was May in 1917. These 3 young girls started receiving communication from an entity. And they sort of, they were like uneducated. They didn't know how to read or write or anything, but they were like receiving messages. A couple of them were able to speak to the entity. One was only able to see, but can't hear anything or something. So they started to get popular, in the local sort of thing. Like the rumor got out, like, oh, these girls are, they're talking to somebody, the spirit or whatever.
Right.
And as things progressed, it got to the point, I think it was October 1917, or maybe it was a little earlier, but it says here July. So maybe July. Okay, July 1917. There were like upwards of 70,000 people getting ready to witness what the little girl alleged was an appearance of Our Lady. Like she would appear to everybody. So all these people were there. And so what's remembered by the Vatican is, we received these prophecies from Mother Mary, and, the Vatican holds on to them. And part of some of the prophecies that were received involved the conversation about Russia. So very interesting stuff there. And that's what the Vatican told us. That's what's kind of been out there for about 100 years. L.A. Marzulli, a few years ago, did a deep dive on this. Again, went down to Portugal, interviewed the people that documented a lot of the writing. And he went directly to the source, the handwritten notes from 1917, right after this happened. And what's described is not an apparition of Mary, but rather what's more or less we can sort of surmise as a UFO appearance in front of a large crowd.
A mass sighting.
A mass sighting.
Of a bright light.
But it was also described as like a spinning disc at the time. They didn't really know what to say, so they called it a spinning sun, is what they described it as. And it came down, it kind of swooped around. It got near to people. The reports were that, it dried our wet clothes because it was a rainy day. But in fact, it was like burning people's skin too, which is kind of a consistent thing with UFO sightings. People that have, come close in contact with these things feel burns or feel other types of radiation damage or whatever. Right. So not the kind of serene spiritual thing that the Vatican has relayed to the rest of the world as a thing that happened. And I think they even named it a miracle, right? The church actually calls this a miracle, like one of the miracles of the church.
It took a while, but they did officially sort of call it a miracle.
Right. So I just think it's interesting that in this time when we see the Russia-Ukraine conversation, or the conflict, the conversation that the Pope brings up is to invoke Fatima, the place where a UFO appeared in front of thousands of people, gave them a message, a prophecy, quote unquote, that allegedly had something to do with Russia, which we don't know for sure because what L.A. Marzulli uncovered, according to his research, Lucia was the one that relayed the Russia thing, that, this whole message here that the Vatican News cites.
That's the little girl's name.
And she, according to LA, she didn't actually mention Russia until about 10 years later when she was, brought back in to sort of actually write down what was communicated to her from, like, the church brought her in and was like, okay, we need an official sort of statements or whatever. So kind of interesting.
Very interesting, especially in the context of sort of the broader Great Deception conversation, which, of course, is wrapped up in UFOs or interdimensional beings or aliens or whatever they want to be called, sort of supplanting or creating a secular explanation for miraculous and spiritual things, which was a big focal point of the Fatima miracle or miracle at Fatima. And when it comes to, biblical prophecy and time stuff, all this, Russia, obviously, another focal point. So to wrap it all up together in a nice little bow, as far as sort of like great deception, foundation setting actions by the Pope, this is definitely somewhere near the top of the list.
Yeah. So this article goes on and goes through some of the various times that the Vatican consecrated Russia. And
they've done it before.
They've done it a few times, yeah.
No,
because it was part of the prophecy, man. You got to listen to Our Lady,
right? Yeah.
Rejecting Our Lady, which from our perspective, the other parts of what LA uncovered during his research of Portugal in that area is that there is a long history of goddess worship and serpent cults there in Portugal, right at that Fatima region there. And of course, you tie that back to like a female deity worship, ancient female deity worship and stuff like that. And that's straight up into the mystery goddess. Religions, the goddess. Yeah. So it all ties together. It's all coming together, Basil. But what's fascinating is to bring this sort of supernatural / UFO conversation into the Russia-Ukraine crisis, because with COVID, it was like, oh, what's next? The UFOs? And then it kind of was, it was like, oh, the government's like, yeah, we had a whole unit looking at UFOs.
They brought up the UFOs.
They brought it up.
So it's like every big world event comes out from a global authority, by the way, not just conspiracy theorists or whatever. It's the government comes out and talks about aliens in relation to COVID. And now the UFOs. Pope coming out and, making a connection between UFOs and potential World War III here.
Yeah, and I have another article. I'll just read the headline from aletia.org. And the headline is Our Lady of Fatima Statue to Visit Ukraine. The International Pilgrim Virgin Statue of Fatima will tour Ukraine on a mission of peace and reconciliation.
Yeah, that's a pretty talented statue.
So it's very interesting when we're talking about the beast system and is it Rome? And I mean, there is an element to that seems to be prevalent in our conversation today with all the stuff happening in Russia, Ukraine. So
yeah,
I found that interesting that within all the news cycle stuff, this is where we would land today, which is like, just all the stuff happening with the money and the Zelensky up there doing his thing, but also the Pope.
Yeah, and those are the kind of connections that takes 10 years of podcasting to be able to make. I mean, it's, again, another reason why I love sort of just our careers in general, Gonz, but this show that we get to do now is there's plenty of news deconstruction on the war, and maybe even one or two of them will mention the Pope just getting involved. But how many other news deconstruction and analysis podcasts are going back 100 years to connect long-standing Catholic miracles, UFOs, biblical prophecy, space Pope reptilian, and Russian-Ukraine current events? Not a whole lot of them, I'll tell you what. And that's why we're so happy to have you here on our 10th anniversary. And Gonz, I don't know if you know this or not, but it is a Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Hey guys, know what date it is? It's Wednesday. It's time for the Canary Cry News Talk. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw indeed. Here we are, Gonz, older. Just older,
just
pretty
older.
much.
I don't know
just
about
older.
You were about to say wiser, but then you kind of thought about it and maybe not wiser.
We are at least older than when we started podcasting. And so this is fun. This is fun. I realized that right about 8.5 years of podcasting, I started calling it 10 years. Just rounding it up, making it easy. So it is fun to actually hit the official 10-year mark. Now, we have a lot of people listening now who are like, I didn't know you guys have been going for 10 years. I started listening in 2020 when you did your big long live stream episodes. Yes, this form of the show has only existed since 2020 because, hey, we had a lot of time on our hands, baby. But we have been doing Canary Cry News Talk since 2016, and our other show, Canary Cry Radio, which is a long-form interview-style show we've been doing since 2012. Feel free to go check that out. There's all sorts of long-form, fringy, conspiracy-y, back when it was cool, but also biblical prophecy, spirituality, spiritual warfare type stuff, and the same lovable technocratic critiques as always.
Yeah.
So if you haven't checked it out, you should go check it out. It's a great sort of foundational knowledge building experience listening through Canary Cry Radio. But yes, that is how we got here. Now, there's been projects interspersed. Gonz, of course, Age of Deceit, the infamous documentary series that you've been doing since 2011. Also, I've gone through my number of side projects, including the Joyspiracy Theory, which you can still listen to, and of course, now Ravel. So, yeah, I think it's a 10 years well spent, Gonz.
Yeah, there was, and I have, for those of you watching, CanaryCryRadio.com, CCR 001, Introductions, Internet Tracking, and Transhumanism. We were talking about transhumanism back then. And I actually, as first published March 16th, 2012. So, yep, right there. 10 years ago, today. Wow. And I was listening to a few minutes at the beginning there. And the funny thing is, first off, we sound a little different. We're a little more like hush hush because we're in the church office. You know?
Yes, we were sort of secretly recording in our place of work.
And we're talking about, the canary in the coal mine, what it means and all that kind of stuff right at the top. And the funny thing is you say, the great thing about Canary Cry Radio is, and I'm like, listening 10 years, 10 years reflecting, and I'm like, yo, we just started that podcast. That was our first episode, and you're already hyping it. Like, you were hyping it. You were like, the thing that's amazing about Canary Cry Radio.
What did I say? I'm so curious.
Something along those lines. I don't remember. We don't have to play.
I want to know what I thought was so great at that point. The great thing about this podcast, folks, in the first 5 minutes of its existence, is that I'm here.
I mean, basically, it was interesting to listen to. My voice sounds a little higher pitched. I think I was moving faster back then. But yeah, good times.
We were just babies. We were just babies back then.
We were babies.
But it's just surprising that we've been able to hold not just other people's interest, but our own interest for 10 years.
Well, I was thinking, and this I guess makes sense, is that Canary Cry News Talk started 4 years after radio started. And so we've been doing News Talk longer than we've been doing radio now, which is kind of crazy.
Well, we didn't stop doing Canary Cry Radio.
I know. But in terms of like...
We've been doing Canary Cry News Talk for longer than we had been doing Canary Cry Radio.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there you go.
Which is still impressive. I mean, when we started this show, we were pretty well established and like into the scene. We weren't babies. We were 4 years in, and of course, this is just my own sort of hubris and being a young man as I was back then, thinking that, what was I? I was 25 or 6 when we started this show. I've been podcasting for 4 years now. I'm just gonna branch out to a new show or whatever. Like, oh my gosh.
Not many people can say they've been podcasting for a decade. I think it's a very small group of people. So
yeah, well, I'm happy to be here. I can't believe that we are able to still do it, and as old men now, able to actually do it. I was going to say professionally, but that's a weird way to put it. Just to be able to continue to do it as we grow older and have more responsibilities and children financial responsibilities and stuff. That is the time in life, your 30s, your late 20s, where people tend to kind of shift away from the like making your dreams come true attitude and start valuing
doing the thing that you
stability.
need to do.
You value stability, and you start making those hard decisions, which is not to say that we haven't had to do that. We've both been working in other jobs for most of that time. For me, literally up until the pandemic, when I couldn't work and suddenly had so much time to podcast. But happy to be here. Happy everybody else is here. We're extremely thankful that you continue to tune in and support the show and find it valuable. We're very grateful to God to have, helped to have pretty much been entirely responsible for the continuation of this show. Something we love to do, something we feel is very valuable, not just for us, but, we feel we've found something valuable we can do for the world. So enough rambling on from me, but just wanted to express my gratitude to everybody.
Yeah,
because we wouldn't be anything if it weren't for the listeners and the producers and everybody involved in doing the show.
100%. I would argue we still are basically nothing.
Yeah,
it's like all the producers and
kind of like
the good Lord above making it all happen. So
the producers, we're coming to a wonderful point in this. I mean, we're just about there where the producers can or do handle most of the stuff that we would just literally never be able to get to.
Yeah,
I mean, if it was just you and me, we might be able to just do the show, but there would be no website. You'd
still be on the floor with those sock puppets.
We'd be doing sock puppet videos. Oh my gosh, yeah, old school Canary Cry people will remember we had a phase there where we were making sock puppet videos about fringe conspiracy theories and
time traveling through
Bible prophecy.
And stuff.
Yeah, well,
it's gonna be biblical.
It's gotta be biblical. That's right. Okay, enough wandering down.
Sure.
What is it? Memory lane.
Yeah.
Do you have any? I mean, I guess that counts as our sort of personal time. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, I think we should thank the executive producers who are responsible once again for making this show happen.
Let's do it. Okay. So that's right, folks. This show has only been able to continue in the form that it is or does or whatever the right word is because of the value for value model. We take no corporate money whatsoever. It's the only way we could feel right about doing what we do because we could not live with ourselves if we were gathering up your time and your attention and your trust and selling it off to advertising companies for our own personal gain. And that's why the producers are such an important part of this show, because we're on the value for value model. If you get value out of what we do, if you've gotten any value out of what we've done for 10 years, you have the opportunity and the personal responsibility to support independent media if that's what you want to see continue in the world. And the people who do that are called producers, and the people who do it the most generously during any single episode are the executive producers of that episode.
Executive producers.
That's right. And we will thank the rest of our producers later on during our break. But I do want to give a shout out to the executive producers of this episode, starting with Sir Sigra the Beast. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Sigra.
Hannah G is coming in again. Thank you very much, Hannah G.
It's actually, I think it's two people there. It's Hannah G and Lori G together.
Hannah and Lori. And then Clifton P coming in.
P.
That's right. 3 executive producers for this episode. Thank you guys so much. And we'll be reading notes and things like that later on in the show.
Where'd you find this?
Okie dokie.
Right.
Now I'm looking at our notes here. You have something special to talk about?
A couple things. So first off, let me just real quickly get through the the meaning of this episode. which may confuse people.
Mm-hmm.
So Z has to do with Zelensky, and it actually has to do with an article that we'll get into in our later Ukraine New World Order segment, where it goes through the alphabet of the Ukraine crisis, A for atomic bomb or whatever. We'll go through that, and Z is the kicker, Zelensky, the superstar of this whole deal. So that's the Z, and then Decacorn is just a word I heard recently, and I was fascinated by it. Do you know what a decacorn is?
Is it a real word, or you didn't make this word up?
No.
Oh, I would imagine it means 10 horns.
It is a unicorn that has 10 horns, meaning at least worth $10 billion. So you know how $1 billion company is a unicorn?
Oh, okay. You're talking about in corporate parlance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I did not know that. Okay, so that's a thing.
So the biggest
$10 billion companies are called decacorns.
At least 10 billion. So
that makes Canary Cry News Talk a decacorn.
Absolutely not. We fell well short of the decacorn label, but we did last a decade at the very least. So there's that connection. But it's interesting. A decacorn, 10 horns, a 10-horn unicorn, because, Revelation 13:1 talks about a beast that comes out of the sea. It's got 10 horns,
Yes.
So maybe this is a prophecy that talks about, hey, this beast thing is going to be at least worth $10 billion.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's got 10 horns,
Yeah, well, that does sort of support some of the interpretations from prophecy watcher type people that, the sort of corporate monstrosities might be a part of the book of Revelation and the things therein.
The final system.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we would have done something a little different with the 10 horns there on the art, but instead we just have this logo. What's
We've
up
got
with
this cool. It's the seal. We have a seal now, Gonz.
Oh,
it's the seal of Canary Cry.
You must
News
put
Talk.
this on your right foot or left shoulder if you would like to continue listening to the show.
Well, for those who are just listening and not watching, you can see the image on your podcast player there. And yes, it's been 10 years. In the past, our logos have more or less just been me spending 10 minutes on Photoshop and not being very good at Photoshop. And, this will work. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, cool. And then we just keep it for 10 years. So I thought for the 10-year anniversary, it would be a great opportunity to introduce, whether we call it a new logo or the seal of Canary Cry News Talk. And I think it's pretty cool. I commandeered the skills of some Canary Cry, of course, one Canary Cry artist. I worked diligently with Sir Dove, Knight of Rusbeltia, and he was very talented Canary Cry News Talk artist, but also very patient with me because every little piece of this, I would send him long emails about little tweaks. We went back and forth for a few months, actually. So this thing is, took months. I mean, I think we started working on it back in November, and literally I've just put the finishing touches on it before we started the show today. And yeah, it's kind of based off of, look.
Look,
if you know us, if you know what we're about, we like to poke fun. We like to do some tongue in cheek. We like to refer to a lot of the sort of Illuminati illusions in all sorts of different ways. But you'll notice that the seal of Canary Cry here is loosely based on the seal of the United States, but instead of a phoenix/eagle, we've got a canary, a wide-winged canary, opening his wings wide, ready to spread the truth. He's got a ribbon going through his mouth there that has some Latin on it that says cogitare extra caviam, which means, can you guess?
Think outside the cage.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we've got some think outside the cage in Latin there. When we're looking at it, in its right hand, there is a katana. Gonz, that's you. There's a Viking axe. That is me. And you'll notice that there is also an arrow. Yes, and that arrow, that's you, producers. That's right. The Canary is armed with 3 weapons there. And yeah, I thought the arrow was cool for the producers because they're sort of, they're a ranged weapon.
Right.
They're fighting the battle from a little bit further away, covering their homies, Basil and Gonz. Now, in the other hand, you'll see sort of 3 intertwined angry snakes. And those angry snakes represent sort of the adversary. You've got, I've been sort of calling them like corruption, coercion, and there was another C word that I can't remember right now. I have it written down somewhere.
Conflict.
Conflict, something like that. And
coronavirus.
Yes, but they also sort of represent, the centers of power that we sort of try to resist, or at least analyze or whatever, hoping to take some power out of the bite. And of course, they're snakes because they're all wrapped up with the adversary as well. So you've got like corporations, you've got governments, and you've got media. You've got like the lies,
We leave it open for interpretation.
Yeah, there's a lot of interpretation here. I was not planning on doing this full thing, but there's more little Easter eggs for those who want to. Confusion. Yes, thank you. Estimating 1. You got it. It is confusion. That was the other one.
Good.
Yeah. That was for the sort of news corporations, the confusion. There's some other Easter eggs that I will let people find on their own.
Why don't you do one on the shield, because it brings us into the next thing.
Yeah, I was going to go through the shield. So on the top, you've got the crown of thorns there. Of course, Jesus at the top. On the bottom, you've got an open book, both for truth and the scriptures. On the left-hand side, we had a little fun with it. You've got a pyramid, all-seeing eye of providence or whatever, with an X through it, because we're taking down the secret societies. And on the right side there, you've got a friendly-looking robot head that also has X's for eyes. And that's because we got our eye on you, Flippy.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right.
It is that time. Super loud?
Yeah, all of them have been a little loud, but I was just going to let you do it. I thought we were cranking it up to get the hype going. Yeah, and you know what? It's as if Miso Robotics, the original company who created the original Flippy, who started our obsession with robots and how they are, taking our jobs and flirting. Oh my gosh.
Enslaving our children.
I didn't give the Flippy update. If you don't know, Flippy is the colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots take over the world and how there's nothing we can do about it. And yes, as if on cue, Miso Robotics, the creator of the original Flippy, has dropped their video yesterday from their March 10th shareholder presentation. And it's about an hour long. And
we're going to play the whole hour.
We're going to just sit here quietly and watch the entire thing. No, but they started out their shareholder presentation with a little video. And it starts at about, 5 seconds or something, Gonz. But I would like to play this. Okay, yes, I'd like to play this video. This was the opening video for Miso Robotics, the father, the mother, the progenitor of Flippy, to which we owe so much attention on this show. Let's see what they have to say.
Oh.
Good. Yes.
Do we have volume?
This is when they sat in silence at the shareholder meeting.
The joys of fast food.
Here we go.
The good food made fast and.
By the way, extremely low on volume.
Yeah, it is extremely low. Is there anything we can do to pump that up?
Yeah, I can try something.
It's okay. We'll take a second while you do that. Because I was just very excited to see this. And I thought, wow, of course, on our 10th year anniversary, they give us exactly what we need, exactly what we want. Miso has been laying low recently, besides the fact that they continue to try to get investors, which we can still do. Remember, we talked about Miso and how we missed the train on investing. Well, they do have a Series A or something, or registration A or whatever series of investment going on.
Yeah, but you got to be an accredited investor to
I don't
put money
think so.
No?
I think we're in this weird...
Are they doing a DAO?
They're doing some sort of retail situation. I could be wrong. I got about halfway through the process, and then I got distracted. And
okay, let's try to play this one again.
But you can invest for as little as $1,000 at $10.05 a share.
Wow.
The good food made fast and affordable are all part of what made these American institutions. But times are changing.
The pandemic has flipped the restaurant industry upside down.
And we're looking for our savior.
And the number of workers is
savior.
35%.
Take us back to the glory days of fast.
I wouldn't say back, or even glory days.
Well, what would you say?
It's about the future of fast food.
Yeah, cool.
Hi, I'm Mike Bell, CEO of Miso Robotics, and we're using robotics and AI to help usher in the future of fast foods. Commercial kitchens, when you look at these kitchens across the United States, you see operations based on manual tasks and outdated technology. So that means people are performing lots of repetitive and robotic tasks.
Ha, was that pun intended?
Yes, it was.
Ugh. Robots, I get it, but how are you recreating?
You can't talk because your voice is so much louder.
Was?
Pretty simple. We build robots to do robotic work and let people do people work. The fryer is one of the toughest positions to build. You got splattering oil. 20-30 degrees hotter standing behind that fryer than in the rest of the kitchen. What we ended up developing in Flippy was really a collaboration between kitchen workers and our engineering product team. Workers who used to be working the grill, working the kitchen, are now working the kitchen but getting trained in robotics technology at the same time. And that's a skill that they can take with them for the rest of their lives.
Wow, that sounds impressive.
I'm also impressed by how cool it is.
You think franchise owners can afford this?
I can answer that. This is a huge addressable market. We're talking over 250,000 QSRs in the US alone. And yes, many of them are struggling. Cash flow is an issue. So we had to develop a RaaS model, which stands for Robots as a Service. We charge a monthly service fee, so restaurants don't have to pay any upfront costs. Their monthly fees go towards the equipment, the software, and allows our team to stay engaged with the staff, train them on robotics, and hear how we can improve our technology so they can focus on more important tasks for their business.
I get it. So robots can do the robot work, and people can
do the people work.
Like taking orders with a smile and delivering it to them personally. To me, these are the things that made fast food great to begin with. The attention to detail and the people-focused experience. So our goal is to bring restaurants into this future.
Well, there you have it. Well, not the saviors, but the guides to help bring us into a new era. Filled with everything we love and more than we expected.
Yay! The future.
Isn't it weird, the types of things that they focus on? There's a couple of things that are very fun. I mean, they started out being like, Miso Robotics will be the savior of fast food. Well, not the savior. We're more of, and they kind of
guides,
like, which prophets. This is a wonderful communication rhetorical device that they employed here, which is, the fact is they do think of themselves as the savior, but they know that they can't say that. You can't say that out loud because then, crazy Christians will make podcasts about it, about how you're, trying to be the savior of the world with your robots. But Trump employed this a lot, where he would say something like, I'm not going to say that, she looks like a horse, but I mean, somebody else might say that. We're some, and so that's what Miso's doing here. We're not the saviors. Oh, somebody might say we're the saviors. We don't say that, though. We're just here to guide fast food into the new age, which is just a great quote to their shareholders. So no. We're not the Christ figure of fast food. We are just guides, man. We're just your shaman into the future of fast food. Some interesting things in there. Introducing RAS, RAAS.
We talked about RAS very early.
Yeah.
Very early.
You know, business people and computer people, they'll know of software as a service.
SaaS.
BaaS, blockchain as a service. You know, these are sort of business models. And so they are doing the robot as a service model, which is a great model because that means nobody will ever own their own robots. They stay under the control of Miso. You just pay a monthly fee. It's kind of like it's like a domain name. It's like a domain name, exactly. You get your software updates. You get your hardware updates.
You get your support help desk in case you need any help.
And, it makes it much more affordable for any individual restaurant to use this. So you don't got to drop like $100,000 on a robot. So, there's a bright future there for Miso. And one of these days when I don't get too distracted, maybe I can finally take my own investment advice, which I do not recommend you guys do, but it is there if you're interested.
Yeah, we got more non-investment investment advice later on, by the way.
Yeah. Also, don't listen to us.
No, don't listen to us at all.
We're not pros.
No.
So yeah, I just thought it was fun. Good timing on their big shareholder meeting, dropping words like savior and guide into the new age. And everything like that. So Flippy, we're keeping an eye on you, Flippy. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you. We spend so much time talking about other robots. Flippy sometimes gets a little jealous.
Well, if you want to catch up on all the Flippies, all you got to do is go to CanaryCry.Party.
Party time.
Find the live stream, the email list, text notifications, street team posters, show notes, and ways to connect with other Canarians and become a producer.
That's right, CanaryCry.Party, where like Miso Robotics, we have robots doing robot jobs and humans doing human jobs. Forgot to mention that.
Yeah,
that was a good line, too.
That was a good line.
And speaking of which, this is a great opportunity. I did not put it on CanaryCry.Party yet, but we've done it. We finally put in the smallest amount of effort that it could possibly have taken. But the Canary Cry mixtape is now available online. Yes. So if you go to canarycrynewstalk.com/mixtape, you'll find an embedded SoundCloud player where you can listen to all of the songs, full-length songs from Canary Cry artists and musicians. It's cool. It's all there, man. I have a couple more little tweaks I got to do to it, but, I figured it's the 10-year anniversary. I should just put it out there now. So there you go. We'll have a better link or a better, URL for it sometime in the future. But you can go to canarycrynewstalk.com/mixtape. Or you can just find us on SoundCloud, Canary Cry Mixtape. And yeah, it's got all your favorites. It's got the entire selection of Psalm 40's album is on there. You got Fun Fact, that's the Raptor song. Robot Girls, Robot Boys. Let's see, what else? There's the song that Gonz, the cover of Shape of Things to Come, that Gonz and I did. Flippy, Please Don't Take My Girl. Of course, Kenneth Copeland, which is the Learbag, COVID-19 bop.
And this embed is not loading on my.
It's
my
not great.
Here.
It's not working on mine either. But you can click it. I know it's embarrassing, but you can click on it and at least go to the SoundCloud.
Sure.
I'll fix it after the show. Okay. Sorry about that, folks.
All right.
But yes, it's all there. And if it's not there, let us know and we'll put it on there. There's a lot of songs. It was hard to track them all down.
Yeah.
So that will be continuing to sort of perfect that. But
cool.
Now you can listen to your favorite Canary Cry songs whenever you want.
Excellent. You want to mention Ravel for a moment?
Yeah, go listen to Ravel. Ravel's good. The episode right now, we interviewed one of the top 10 battle rappers in the universe. That is an official title. And yes, I, in my most cringeworthy moment in 10 years of podcasting, did battle rap against an actual professional battle rapper. So it's a fun time. And if you haven't checked out Ravel, you should definitely do that. And of course,
good.
Canary Cry clips on YouTube and Odysee.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay, because we're a little bit behind on time here, let's just get right back into this here.
Fight for Ukraine, New World Order.
We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable.
A new world order
is possible. When do we want it?
I'm so glad we got to bring that jingle back. This is coming from TheGuardian.com. The headline, How Ukraine Has Become the Crucible of the New World Order. Yay! Why do we even exist anymore, Gonz? What is the point of us even? I guess this is when we call it, when The Guardian starts talking about the New World Order. There's no use for us.
So read the first 3 paragraphs there, and then I have some of the main things highlighted because it goes through the letters. This is the letter thing,
Totally. I was gonna do that exact thing. Here we go. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has been described by politicians and commentators as a watershed moment in modern history, a turning point comparable in importance to the 9/11 attacks in the U.S. in 2001, the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, and even the assassination of John F. Kennedy in 1963.
At what point are they going to lose equity with like the 9/11?
Never. It is such powerful mind control triggering trauma response that they can just literally drop. Anybody can drop it whenever they want. And, you think of millennials in our lifetimes, Gonz. We have lived through the fall of the Berlin Wall, the 9/11 attacks, of course, the 2008 recessions, the COVID-19 pandemic, now this. I mean, our entire lives have had some sort of world-shattering disaster like every 4 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether this portentous view of the war turns out to be justified, only time and future historians will tell. But there's no doubt that in the violent, tumultuous days after 24th of February, the established international order has been shaken and, in some respects, upended in extraordinary, unexpected, and often unwelcome ways. Whew. Ukraine, a country at the crossroads of Europe and Asia that is little known and often ignored, has become overnight the crucible of a new world order, a catalyst and trigger for radical upheaval, perhaps a great reset. It has produced a new geopolitical alphabet, spelling out a much altered future.
Come on. This reads like a fringe blogger.
Oh, this is the fun part about The Guardian, and I'm very happy they did this and very proud of them for being so creative. Instead of doing like a numbered list, like 33 reasons why the Ukraine is because of the New World Order, or we'll bring on the New World Order, they just went through the alphabet like a children's book.
Yeah.
We could get a Canary Cry artist, or many of them, to illustrate cute little children's pictures about
each one.
Each one, like A. Hey kids, A is for atomic weapons. Vladimir Putin's ill-disguised threat to go nuclear, should the West intervene to halt the invasion, has come scarily close to breaking a post-1945 taboo. It has undoubtedly inhibited the U.S. and British response, with fears expressed about a Third World War. A dangerous precedent has been set. You know, it needs to rhyme is the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, it didn't. So you have someone's. I don't think we should read every.
No. I have stuff highlighted.
But I like going through the alphabet.
No, let's do it.
I'll go through and you stop me when you get one you want to go into.
Okay.
So A was for atomic weapons. B is for Joe Biden's tenure. C is for China standing to be the big strategic winner. D is for disinformation. E is for Recep Tayyip Erdogan. That's the Turkey guy. F is for Francis Emmanuel Macron. G is for Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz. And H, hunger and consequent political unrest affecting poor countries in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. I is for Israel, and J is for Boris Johnson. Oh, you got one. Okay.
I want to focus in on Israel here. Mm-hmm. Israel has disappointed its friends with its invasion fence sitting.
Yes.
Ostensibly justified by a need to keep on terms with Russia and Syria. But its right-wing government will be happy if the war scuppers and West's proposed revived nuclear deal with Iran, to which the ever-devious Putin has suddenly raised fresh objections.
Ever-devious.
Ever-devious. Yeah, Israel has been playing on the fence, allowing Russian oligarchs to land their planes in Israel, but also, kind of helping Ukraine too. So
we got to do one of these alpha. Okay, this is it. I'm making a commitment. We're doing a Canary Cry children's book this year, and it's gonna go into the supply drop.
All right, sounds good. Yeah,
because we could easily do this. I mean, F is for Flippy. Come on.
Sure.
For Nephilim. Moving on. J is for Boris Johnson, Britain's prime minister. K is for Kaliningrad, Russian enclave squeezed between Poland and Lithuania. That was that little weird Russian zone that I talked about the other day. Yeah, that's Kaliningrad. And Kaliningrad, right. And they are afraid that might be another place where a little war might break out. L is for international law.
Stop. That's what I wanted to read. International law has taken a battering from which it may not recover. By its actions, Russia has torn up the UN Charter. Yet, the UN Secretary Council is powerless to act in the face of Moscow's permanent veto power, which it used to block a resolution condemning the invasion. Russia also boycotted a hearing on Ukraine at the UN's highest court, the International Court of Justice in The Hague. UN reform The Hague. UN reform must come soon. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about globalization, there's been it's in this weird moment in the globalization that was really hit its phase, its real, not necessarily its peak, but was really initiated by Bill Clinton. I mean, the globalization machine has been built, but really took off with Clinton.
Yeah.
And has only really existed for about 22 years now. But it's not good enough. We need a new version. You know, the globalization, the UN, the United Nations is not enough. We need UN 2.0 or have it sort of evolve into its more powerful form. Shall I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
M is for Emmanuel Macron's off-mocked vision of a sovereign Europe. Macron gets two of them.
Yeah, I was going to say they cheated a little bit here with the Macron thing, but go ahead.
N is for NATO, and O is for oil.
I was going to mention NATO. NATO has emerged united and stronger so far.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
O is for oil, obviously. P is for playing and watching international sport has got a lot harder if you're Russian.
Sports ball. They were really stretching by the end of this.
I know. Russians can't watch sports or play sports, apparently.
This next one is good. We have to read this next one.
Q is for the quest for truth. The fundamental purpose of free, independent media. They're talking about us, Gonz.
I know.
We made it onto the list.
Under Q.
Under Q. Oh, my gosh. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if they knew they were doing that.
They knew for sure they were doing. Yes, of course they did.
Wow, that is really funny. The Q is for the quest for truth. The fundamental purpose of free, independent media like Canary Cry Newstalk has been further set back by the war. Russia has long persecuted Western correspondents, etc., etc. R is for record refugee outflows. I think we're up to over 3 million now. S is for sanctions. I love that. S is for sanctions, and T is for Taiwan. U is the United Arab Emirates. On V is for Venezuela's hard left government. W is for war crimes. X is for Xinjiang, home to China's persecuted Uyghur Muslim minority, is one of the many global trouble spots whose urgent problems have been eclipsed by Ukraine. Millions of
That's what happened.
Because they were getting so much attention in the mainstream media.
3 or 4 years that people have been talking about the Uyghurs.
The Uyghurs have been ignored forever.
It was Ukraine that outshined the Uyghur conversation.
Yeah,
they both start with U. How are we to know?
Y is for younger generations in the world. Z
Hold on.
fashion. Okay.
To your point about why, okay?
Yeah.
Younger generation the world over have reason to wonder what's going on. First, they inherited the climate crisis. Then came the pandemic. And then the resultant bans on study and travel. Now they face something older generations said would never happen again. A full-scale war in Europe. They're scared.
Dude, we're not even like scared anymore.
No.
I mean, millennials are one thing, but
we're jaded old people now.
Generation Z didn't really live. They didn't know about much of Generation Z was not even alive for 9/11. So I think millennials still have it locked down for most traumatized generation. And Z, this is great. So
this
Y
is part of the title of the episode.
Y is for younger generations in the world. Z is a fascist-style pro-war motif displayed by Russian invasion forces and right-wing Putin supporters. But the Z that will be remembered with admiration around the world belongs to the name of Vladimir Zelensky, Ukraine's comedian president turned inspirational war leader who embodies the fight for freedom. Wow.
Oh my
they really had
gosh.
to stuff a lot into the Z one there.
I think they started with Z. I think the Z was the first one. They're like, we should do the alphabet. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a reason to point out this. I could see how somebody over there at The Guardian is like, whoa, dude, Z is like Zelensky, but also the Russians are using it as a fascist style pro-war motif. What is a fascist style
just
pro-war?
The look.
Exactly.
Not really a thing. It's
there's
just
angles. The fascist style pro-war motif. What they're saying is, it kind of looks like a swastika a little bit. Like if you put 2 Z's, then it's a swastika. But if you just have 1 Z, you're like clever and hiding a swastika. Cool, The Guardian.
America's got Q, Russia has Z,
That's
Everybody
true.
just gets assigned a letter as their far right wing conspiracy thing. So there you go. That was a fun little article.
There you go, kids. That is the alphabets of how Ukraine has become the crucible of the New World Order.
A new world order. A new world order.
RollingStone.com, and I'll be brief with this one. Headline, Michael Flynn says Putin's Ukraine invasion is disrupting Bill Gates' New World Order. Like,
of course,
whoa, bro,
Flynn
this
says that.
This is getting all twisty-turvy.
That's funny. This is in Rolling Stone?
Rolling Stone, yeah. So let me just read a couple sentences. Michael Flynn, Donald Trump's disgraced former national security advisor, wants you to know he's the last guy who would be an apologist for Vladimir Putin, the Russian leader currently conducting a murderous attack on Ukraine. Flynn would also like you to know, however, that Putin's invasion has now upset plans for a new world order organized by people like billionaire Bill Gates, who are somehow pushing to eliminate, quote, God and soul.
Ooh.
That is a conspiracy theory word salad from Flynn, but it goes toward a dangerous end, setting up Putin as a hero to a host of conspiracy theorists and covering for an invasion that has caused mass death and suffering in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And the quote here, someone like Vladimir Putin has upset this balance of the New World Order they were trying to achieve by going into Ukraine, and yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, Flynn kind of playing I'm not for Putin, but, hey, they're taking down the system, man. They're pushing back on the system that's so oppressive, man.
Burn it down.
Burn it down.
Yeah,
so,
he's an accelerationist.
It's just funny how the phrase New World Order is just so flippantly used now by a bunch of political leaders and newspapers. And
I know.
I mean, they kind of were before, but now it's just like,
well, it
whoa.
used to be a thing where, like, if we heard a politician or a news outlet use the phrase New World Order, you'd make a YouTube video about it, and it was a thing to make note of. And now they're using it so often that you can't even keep up with it.
Yeah.
And it's a very useful propaganda tool, normalizing the phrase, making the phrase sound like a good thing. And here's what it is. When it comes to crafting the feeling, how, I say it all the time, humans, for the most part, will feel about something how they are told to feel about something. Now, you've got Russia invading Ukraine. That's bad, okay? Everybody knows Russia invading Ukraine is bad. And what is he doing in Ukraine? He's ruining the New World Order. So that must mean that the New World Order is good. Okay. And they just say that over and over and over and over again. And I think that there's going to be sort of a population-wide, it may not be explicit. They may not even know it if you ask a normie. They may not even realize that it's happening. But what it's doing is it's molding the phrase New World Order into, something that's good, that needs to be protected.
Well,
yeah. Well, and one last thing, they're not even using the words New World Order as a descriptor or as a collection of three words. They are capitalizing New World Order as if it is a noun. It's an established noun,
right?
Which is another very powerful sort of passive propaganda, it's a sort of brainwashing technique.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a little distracted, but yeah, I think we're
by my brilliance.
Your brilliance really distracted me. I think we get the point there with the flipperoo. But I've known people who have been all about the New World Order without really even knowing what it is for a while. I remember having conversations with people 10 years ago, and they're like, "Yeah, I want to be part of the New World Order," and I was like, "I don't know if it's a good thing." He's like, "Oh, I just want to be part of the new thing." I was like, okay, all right. Like, they don't really think it through,
And that really is sort of the word progressivism or the word, those things. Those are considered in general parlance in the sort of secular mass, political landscape. Progression, progress is good. If you are progressive, it means you want to move forward and make things better. And New World Order is along those lines. It's new. It's new. It's progress. It's new. And if we're told that we're supposed to like it, then we do, because I watch the news.
Well, Rolling Stone trending, Laura Logan, Zelensky wore leather pants, so maybe the Russian invasion isn't so bad.
What
are we in the metaverse?
Welcome to the metaverse.
Just real quick here, because we're behind on time. CNBC.com, ex-Disney CEO Bob Iger's next step, investing in a metaverse startup run by a 29-year-old. Kind of weird. Why 29? So they can he can harvest when they turn 33. Former Disney chairman and CEO Bob Iger is putting his name and money behind a new company that's aiming to dominate the future of the internet and the metaverse. On Monday, 3D avatar startup Genies announced that Iger is joining its board of directors and investing an undisclosed sum in the Los Angeles-based company. Founded in 2017, Genies' mobile app allows users to create their own custom digital avatars, three-dimensional cartoon versions of themselves for their social media profiles, and eventually to travel the metaverse. In a press release, the 5-year-old startup says it will count on Iger's help to grow the company as it looks to build, quote, avatar ecosystems, where users create everything from digital fashion lines, Beast Fashion, for avatars to the online worlds in which those avatars can interact. Genie's co-founder and CEO Akash Nigam, 29, touted Iger's involvement in a statement, saying he, quote, can't think of a better creative and product thinker than Bob to collaborate with. And it goes through a little bit of history of Iger. I think we kind of know some of his stuff with Disney and all that kind of stuff. Let's see, there's this part at the end here I want to get to. Genies has raised a total of $100 million in funding from venture capital backers like Bond and Breyer Capital, according to Reuters. The company has also partnered with a long list of celebrities creating online avatars for the likes of musicians Justin Bieber, Cardi B, and Shawn Mendes. Genies has also teamed up with brands like Gucci on branded digital items and has launched a marketplace for digital accessory NFTs. Think clothing, shoes, and backpacks for those avatars. Yeah. So, talk about Beast Fashion. It looks like a big part of it. And Bob Iger pouring in an undisclosed amount to support this little company,
what
this little
a
startup.
Score this startup got. My gosh, that is a score. They are so set. Wow.
On that note, maybe we should appeal to Bob Iger about the Canary Cry NFT.
Yeah, well, I was going to say he's are you going to talk about that today?
That was planned.
Okay. You want to do it during the break?
Well, yeah, we can kind of lead it into the break.
Well, there you go. Speaking of score, I think we're the real score, Gonz, because, he might have Robert Iger's money and $100 million to participate as some sort of technocrat overlord who's going to participate in sucking the souls out of our children and our children's children. But we're free, Gonz.
Yeah.
We're free.
Yes.
So let's take a little break and talk about why.
Okay. All right, hold on. You threw me off. I didn't know where you were taking this. Okay, break time.
It's break time.
Okay, take a break, folks. Don't go anywhere, though, because we've got a bunch more show after the break. It's going to be great. And remember, you YouTubers, you're only going to get half of the show. Now, I'm going to keep the pitch short today, folks, because we got places to be. We've got a anniversary party to throw. Gonz and I will be in the metaverse by ourselves. Flying around with our... No, we won't be doing that. But you understand why. We are not getting money from Disney or, in fact, any corporate money whatsoever. We are the true independent media, as mentioned in the Guardian alphabet. We are the quest for truth. We are Q, the quest for truth, the true independent media. And what makes us independent? Well, the fact that we don't take any corporate money whatsoever. Is a quote unquote independent news outlet truly free, truly independent if they rely on corporate money to continue doing their job? I would argue not. Even traditional monetization strategies like partnerships and advertising and affiliate codes and things like that, they are all working in a system of corporate incentive and corporate influence. And is that really what you want with your independent media?
No.
I didn't think so. That's why we're on the value for value. I like this call and response, Gonz. It's like we're in church. Can I get an amen for the value for value model? Come on, don't stop the bit now, Gonz.
Oh, you want me to keep going? I got distracted.
You were supposed to say amen.
Amen.
There we go. All right. The value for value model is simple, keeps us entirely free from corporate influence, and it works like this. We create value. We do it 3 times a week. Some might even say 24/7. But if you get any value out of what we do, or if you've gotten any value out of what we do, have done for the past 10 years, you have the opportunity, and some might say the personal responsibility, to become a producer, to put some value back into the system. Not for nothing. I mean, not just because Gonz feeds his children and we pay our rent and we do keep the lights on and we pay for the infrastructure of this global show or flat earth show, whatever you want to say. But because it's also a spiritual rebellion. It's a way to raise a rebel fist in the air against a world that has convinced many of us that things are only worth what corporations say they're worth. And when you support the show, you are a producer of the show. And that's what we want to do now, is thank those producers, starting with our executive producers. There's a couple ways to do so. You can go to patreon.com/CCNT or CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
Ooh, Menace Sensei in the chat says, mentions temporary tattoos of the new logo. That's fun. Supply droppers, get ready. All right. So who are we thanking today, Gonz?
Executive producers.
We thanked 4 earlier. There's a 5th person here.
We thanked 3 earlier, and there's a 4th.
Well,
there's 2 and 1. You're right.
2 and 1. So to mention them again, Hannah G and Laura G. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Producers.
Executive producers, Hannah G and Laura G.
Where'd you find this?
They come in with $133.33. That's right, plus fees. And a note that says, happy 10th anniversary from Hannah G and Laura G. Lori G, $133.33 plus fees. Thank you very much. Next up, we have executive producer, Sir Sigur the Beast.
Thank you, Sigur the Beast.
Yes, thank you very much. One of our proud and valiant knights of the Canary Cry Roundtable.
Where'd you find this?
No note from him. Next up, I'm going to just fly. Do you mind if I just fly?
Let's fly,
okay.
man.
Let's fly.
We got to fly.
We're flying. Next up, we have executive producer Clifton P.
Thank you, Clifton P.
Uh-huh. Executive producer.
Yes, where'd you find this?
Uh-huh. Coming in with 110.10. That's and a note here that explains it. $10 times 10 plus $10.10. Happy anniversary, you lovebirds. Thank you very much, Clifton P.
Thank you, Clifton P.
Clifton P is a silly goose.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got executive producer, estimating 1, discovering 3.
Thank you very much.
Where'd you find this?
Coming in for 111.11. And a note, this is estimating 1, discovering 3. Thank you, Gonz and Basil, and thank you, God, for 10 years of hope and truth and light. Cheers to the next 10 years. We are with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I have a quick alert, Gonz. I've been alerted to the fact that I believe it is Sir Sigra's birthday today.
Oh.
Yeah, why don't we give him a happy birthday?
Happy birthday.
I hope I got that right. I think I did. Oh, yes. It was a note on Twitter. Yep. Happy birthday, Sir Sigra. Thank you for your faithfulness and your generosity in supporting the show for so long. Yes, indeed.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Happy birthday.
That concludes our list of executive producers. I'm going to do a real quick refresh just in case any execs just came in. But yes, now, in fact, we have all sorts of producers to thank here. And as mentioned, oh my gosh, we did have another exec come in.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is our, oh no. I'm sorry. I misread. Okay. Yes, we're going to thank the rest of the producers. Starting with, there are no supply drop producers there, so we'll skip that. But we'll start with Sir James, Knight and Servant of the Tribe of Judah, coming in on a 65 episode streak. Next up, and I can't believe I've never realized this, but
he did have a note that said happy anniversary. So thank you very much with that. Yeah.
Came in for 11 and 11 plus fees. Thank you, Sir James. Next, we've got producer Morv on a 65 episode streak. Comes in with 11 and 11. Morv.
By the way, this is for Sir James too.
Yeah,
forgot to play it.
Morv and Sir James are streak homies. I did not know that.
They're streak twins, yeah.
Streak essays. We got a note from Morv. My dudes, it's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Hope everyone is doing well. Keep fighting the good fight and let the light shine. Thank you, Morv.
Thank you, Morv.
Next up, we've got producer Tracy R., who sent in 3 producerships of 1095. Ooh, that's fun. Which is 1033 plus fees. Okay, three amounts of 1033. And there's a little list here. 10 reasons why we love Basil and Gonz. 10, the amazing credibility and fair reporting of today's news. 9, the unwavering Christian worldview lens that you report through. 8, the brilliant entertainment and humor and chemistry between you both. That one was in all caps. 7, the amazing Canary family you've created. 6, the fun jingles. 5, the value for value model. The value for value. Yeah, okay. 4, your chemistry and humor. 3, your inspiring and contagious fun personalities. 2, trustworthiness. And 1, because you're just awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tracy. Very kind. Very kind.
Yeah, and you are just awesome as well.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got producer Arnold W., who comes in for, I think, 1033. Yeah. Thank you very much. Plus fees. Sorry, I was trying to do the fee math. Nope, it was 10 even plus fees. Thank you, okay. Arnold W.
Thank you, Arnold W.
Next up, we've got Amanda P.
Amanda P.
Yeah, also coming in 1033 plus fees. And a note, happy 10 years, heart. Enjoy this fun blurb. To protect the airwaves from misinformation, to unite Canarians from across the nations, to expose the deeds of the flippy ones, and proclaim the gospel to the stars above. Insert dramatic Basil Gonz here. Yeah, it's Team Rocket. Team Canary blasting off again. Thank you very much, Amanda P.
Thank you, Amanda P.
Next up, we got Steph Pud coming in. I believe this puts Steph's Pud on a 2-episode streak.
Okay.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
Steph Pud came in for 1033. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, I didn't give it to Amanda P. Oh, 1033 there.
I've got a mustache hair in my mouth. It's distracting me. Happy tinfoil hat year anniversary. I was going to ask before the show, what is the 10-year anniversary? And I think for us, it's definitely tinfoil hat anniversary.
Yep.
Going with the theme of tens, John 10:10 says, quote, the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. How appropriate. Blessings, Steph Pud. Thank you, Steph Pud.
Amen. Thank you, Steph Pud.
Next up, we got Jackie U on a 37-episode streak.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
Coming in 1062, keeping it short. Happy 10th anniversary and happy Purim. Yes, Purim. Yeah, we haven't mentioned Purim.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's a Jewish feast day. I believe it's celebrating Esther, like what happened in the Book of Esther. Mordecai. Yeah.
Yeah.
Read about it today. Yeah, thank you, Jackie U, and happy Purim to all. Next up, we got Dame Madeline, Keeper of the Northlands, coming in 1061. And a note, I saw a very important anniversary on my Canary Cry calendar today. So a happy 10th birthday, Canary Cry. Props to Basil and Gonz for their dedication. Prayer request, call the producers. That's right. Prayer warriors across the world, producers, listen up. I have a loved one dying of cancer right now, and she does not know Jesus. Dame Madeline, I'm so sorry to hear that. That is such a tragedy, and always that extra sting when they don't know Jesus, but certainly there's still time. So we'll pray for Dame Madeline's family member, and both for comfort and strength and perhaps even healing, if that is God's will, but especially for opportunity for salvation. Amen. Thank you, Dame Madeline. Next up, we got Ashley S. coming in for 1033.
Thank you, Ashley S.
Illuminatus!
Next up, we got Toph coming in for 1033.
Toph
is here. 10 to celebrate, 10 years, and 33, because you know I will be handling. Thanks for everything. Stouffer. Thanks, Toph.
Thanks, Toph.
Next up, we got Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, on a 120 episode streak.
Yeah! Quicker! Oh, yeah!
Thank you so much.
Again with the 1033. This is fun. Yeah, happy 10th anniversary, guys. Thank you, Sir Scott.
Thank you, Sir Scott.
The 1033, this must have been the producers came up with this themselves. We didn't say this, right?
I don't think so, yeah.
I don't think so. Ebony Blaze comes in for 1027. Here's wishing you both a very happy 10th podcast anniversary. Thank you for providing humor, logic, and a sense of community. Thank you, Ebony Blaze.
Thank you, Ebony Blaze, and thank you for all the
for everything.
Producerships.
Yeah.
Beyond just the treasure.
Indeed. Very involved.
And that goes for others too.
Producer around here.
Puddin22
comes in for 11 and 11 plus fees and a note.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're rolling. Go ahead.
Happy 10th anniversary. Hard to believe it's been that long. Wishing you many more years of exposing the lizard people's evil plans and averting their catastrophic plans. Catastrophic. Meow, meow, meow. Blessings. Puddin22. Thank you, Kitty.
Thank you, Puddin.
Next, we got Laura C., one of our Aussies, coming in for 1010.
Oh, no, hold on.
1010.
1010.
1010.
Okay.
Nice. Congratulations on 10 years. CCR and CCNT have been a huge blessing in my life. Thank you, and God bless you both, Laura C. Thank you, Laura C.
Thank you, Laura C. Yeah,
next up, we got Gail M. on a 96 episode streak. Now Gail comes in with the 1001.
Aha.
1001. Amen.
And Gail says, yippee! Happy 10th anniversary. This week, Basil and Gonz have been chosen by our Canarian family to receive a gift from Gail's Gratitude Grab Bag as an expression of our undying love and appreciation for you both for just being you. XXXXX. Oh. Thank you very much, Gail.
Okay, so I received those boxes. I was under the impression that we were sending it to someone.
What?
I got the boxes.
You thought she sent it to us so we could send it to someone else?
Yeah, or something. I don't know.
No, that's
I wasn't
for
sure.
us. Those are for us.
Cool.
That's weird. We talked about it. I thought you don't have it by you, do you?
I have to run out to the car. It's in the car.
Okay.
We'll go through it and share it on Friday.
But yes, you did open it, right?
No, I didn't open it.
That is weird. You must have been telling me about some other package then, because you told me we got some package.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Gail.
I can't wait to open it up. We'll do it. We'll do it on the air there. And yes, what a lovely, lovely surprise for our 10-year anniversary.
Appreciate that.
Okay, next up we've got LX Protocol V2 on a 7-episode streak. Coming in for a pocket full of 7s plus fees and says, it's WDMD. Be blessed.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Thank you, LX Protocol V2. Next up, Jessica L. comes in for the 10-year anniversary. Thank you, Jessica L.
Thank you, Jessica L.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight is on a 130 episode streak.
Quicker. Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much. Let's see, pocket full of 7s.
Thank you.
I'm looking now. We got Malik W. just came in.
Thank you, Malik W.
Yeah, coming in for 10 and
All
a 10.
right.
And a note here. Congratulations on 10 years, my dudes. May the Lord establish you and yours forever. Thank you, Malik.
Say it like that, too.
Forever.
With the vocal fry.
Yes, I'm Jen Saki. That concludes all of our producers who came in the amount of a pocket full of sevens or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. We got just a few more who came in under that, starting with Doctor Who Done Dat on a 66-episode streak. Which means Doctor Who Done That has executed Order 66.
Oh. I was not aware.
Time has come. Execute Order 66. 66. The time has come.
It's on a loop. It's on a loop.
It's got a different one.
Order 66.
We got the ISO and the jingle.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Doctor Who Done That. Next up, we got Runk Smash on a 9-episode streak, which means Runk Smash is lit, fam.
Where'd you find this?
Hey, you lit now.
Last but not least, we got Veronica D on a 96-episode streak.
Women rule!
That's right. Thank you all for the wonderful well wishes, and we're so grateful for your support for this episode and your past support and your future support. We're just the most luckiest guys in the world.
Blessed. Very blessed.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you so
right.
much.
Not lucky. Luck has nothing to do with it. And there you go. I think that's it. And in the spirit of expediency, let's thank them for their patronage.
Shut up and take my money. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage.
And you know what? I want to give you a chance to talk about the NFT, and I think we should do it in the context of the supply drop.
Okay.
So why don't you hit the supply drop jingle real quick?
Oh, okay. Was not ready for that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm going to set up my own jingle board. That's right. CanaryCry.Supply.com is our producer thank you campaign here in 2022, where if you produce the show for the amount of $33.33 a month, we will be happy to be sending you free gifts every 3 months, once per quarter. But now that's changed. Things are evolving. There's new information, man. Gonz, what have you been working on that the supply droppers will be excited about?
Well, we had been looking at creating some NFTs, and there's different, the rabbit trail is deep when it comes to NFTs. There's different contracts. There's the.
I don't know if we need to get too deep into the technical
aspects. Oh, you
aspects.
want me to get real deep, buddy?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I won't get in deep, but I do want to announce that I did mint the Canary Cry Genesis Drop Q1 2022 supply drop NFTs. For those of you who are supply droppers, we'll be putting out an instructional, video at some point to set up your wallets.
Yes.
I minted them on the Polygon blockchain, and you can. We'll show you how to do it. We'll show you how to get it, and you'll get your NFT.
Specs. Yeah, so keep an eye out. You supply droppers are going to be on your very own special email list. So keep an eye out for that. And yes, it's a very fun NFT. It's the supply drop canary carrying the box there. And this is like a GIF NFT. It's sort of a rotating cast of characters and outfits for the canary and things coming out of the supply drop and backgrounds. Very cool. I'm very impressed, Gonz. And so whether you are into NFTs already or not, dear supply droppers, you will at least have the opportunity to start receiving them. We're going to be shooting. Well, this one we'll be giving out at the beginning of next month. Because these supply drops come every 3 months, we decided we wanted to give you guys something more often. And we'll be, I'm not going to make any commitments right now, but you will at least be receiving one NFT per supply drop period, and perhaps one per month if we can get the system down well. So if you've never done the NFT thing, you will receive an instructional video. And there you go. Very cool. Good job, Gonz.
Cool. Yep. Excited for this. And there's so much we can do with this in the future moving forward. And I'm planning to do a whole thing for the people who are at the round table. And, you know, even if they don't claim the NFTs themselves, at least we'll have record of it on a blockchain.
That's right. So. And yes, so I say that to say that if you were wondering if there was a reason to sign up for the supply drop this month, this is the reason. You got to be signed up by the end of the month in order to receive this NFT. So go to CanaryCry.Supply.com.
Oh, we have an outro for that.
Waiting for supply drop.
After the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message. Woo! CanaryCryNewsTalk.com. Right-hand side, bottom side if you're on mobile. Green tab. Leave us a message. We'll play it on the show. Who do we got, Gonz?
First one from William F.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Maybe not.
That's the wrong one.
It's got to be labeled correctly, man.
Or is that,
apparently it's Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's not William F. That's crazy. There must have been some sort of Russian hack or something.
Oh, that's probably what it was. Putin, put down your laptop, buddy.
Exactly. This is from Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something right now, Sam Elliott. If you think for 1 second that the Macho Man is intimidated by your pesky little comments and your snide little remarks, you have got another thing coming, my friend. Oh, yeah. Because you are nothing but a little snake, my friend, just like in the Garden of Eden. And although the snake may strike my heel, the Macho Man Randy Savage will crush the head of the snake, as it is written in the Holy Scriptures. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You see, the Macho Man is real. Because I did not become the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of the world just by using my imagination. Oh, no. Make no mistake. I am now, and I will always be the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of the world. Because I am the creme de la creme. Yeah. Wow. Hear me now and hear me good, Sam Elliott.
Should we cut down?
Man runs on 3 things. Flynn, Jim's, Pringles, and Wednesday jingles, but not the kind with little hokey pokey cowboys from Yeehaw, California, like yourself. Oh, no. Only the kind that screams from the top of their lungs that it is Wednesday, my dudes. And you're just a little snake sent out to deceive the whole world. Oh, yeah. Now, Basil and Gonz, the Macho Man, loves you, as does the good Lord above. And I really, really hope that you'll make the right decision to keep the old school Wednesday jingle, because no matter what day of the week it is, it will always be Wednesday, my dudes.
The longest 90 seconds of my life.
I was going to say, we need to put a restriction on Macho Man Randy Savage.
I don't know. No. We will not play that game because that's not our place. But thank you, Macho Man Randy Savage, for calling in. Yes, the theological debate between Macho Man Randy Savage and Sam Elliott regarding the Wednesday jingle has now turned personal. Things have evolved past the sort of theological debate and into just personal threats, which I'm not complaining about. Absolutely. So we'll see what Sam Elliott has to say about that next time.
I love that this war is brewing on our show between.
Yeah, it's growing. It's growing. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you're an internationally renowned celebrity podcast.
Speaking of celebrities.
Okay.
Senator Rand Paul had something to say.
Good afternoon. This is Senator Rand Paul. I'd like to say congratulations, Canary Cry, on 10 years of podcasting. One thing I'd also like to do this afternoon is thank Dr. Fauci, since he has been funding the Wuhan Institute of Virology. There has been lots of risky behavior and lots of gain-of-function research that led to the development of the creation of the podcaster known as Basil. And I thank Dr. Fauci for doing this, because now we can have 10 years of great podcasting. So thank you, Dr. Fauci. And also, you're welcome, Basil, for giving you that extremely awkward interview which launched your career. You're very welcome. You have a great thinking outside the cage, many more years, everybody.
Is that a little whoop at the end? Wow. Well, thank you for the call, Senator Rand Paul. Yes, that was pretty spot on, Rand Paul, actually.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that was wonderful for him to call and comment on our 10 years. And yes, if you don't know, within those 10 years of podcasting, I did sit down with to interview Rand Paul as well as a couple other politicians. And it's not a great interview. It wasn't great at all. It was weird. He was a little weird. I was honored to get the opportunity. There were men with guns in the room. And I was a little bit nervous. And so go check that out on Canary Cry Radio. I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I forgot about it. I always forget about that.
Yeah.
10 years, kids. If you podcast for 10 years, you might be able to talk with a sort of semi-obscure senator someday.
I don't think people realize how ahead of our time we were. We got hung up on by a Karen well before the phenomenon. Well before the phenomenon. So.
All sorts of good times.
Yeah.
All right. Any more voice messages?
I think that's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you to Senator Rand Paul and Macho Man Randy Savage for calling in. And you, dear listener, can call in as well. Go to CanaryCryNewsTalk.com, click on that green tab that's floating around somewhere, and leave us a message. We don't have an outro for that, do we?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, there we go. All right. Are we waking up and saying and booting YouTube out the door?
I think so.
Okay, we're going to wake up here in a second, and YouTubers, go find somewhere else to listen to the show, please.
YouTube, goodbye. What happened to my YouTube goodbye jingle, Basil? What did you do with it?
I don't know. I meant to just borrow it.
Oh, here it is.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure?
Go Twitch, Rumble, Odysee, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. You can find all those links at CanaryCry.Party as well.
Too hot for YouTube. Too hot for YouTube.
Now you see me. Now you don't.
Okay.